Open assembly 2a.dwg. In the bottom viewport, select the corridor. Click Corridor tab. Modify Corridor Sections panel. Section Editor. On the Section Editor tab, use the buttons to examine how the through-road assembly is applied to at the corridor stations. In the View/Edit Corridor Section Tools toolbar, click to return to Station 0+00. If the tool palette containing the sub-assemblies is not visible, click Home tab. Palettes panel. Tool palettes. In the tool palette, right-click the tool palette's control bar. Click Civil Imperial Sub-Assemblies. Click the Conditional tab. Click Conditional Cut or Fill. In the Properties palette, specify the following parameters. In the Drawing, in the top viewport, click the left guardrail to add the Conditional Cut or Fill sub-assembly. Add a second Conditional Cut or Fill sub-assembly to the left guardrail using the following parameters. Add a third Conditional Cut or Fill sub-assembly to the left guardrail using the following parameters. Using the Daylight tool palette, add a Daylight bench sub-assembly to the Fill 5.00, 10,000.00 conditional sub-assembly using the following parameters. Press ESC to exit sub-assembly placement mode. Select the original left ditch sub-assembly. Right-click. Click Move to. Click the Fill 0.00, 5.00 conditional sub-assembly. Select the ditch sub-assembly that you just moved. Right-click. Click Copy to. Click the Cut 0.00, 10,000.00 conditional sub-assembly. When you are finished, the assembly should look like this. Using the Conditional tool palette, add a Conditional Cut or Fill sub-assembly to the hinge point on the Daylight Basin sub-assembly for the cut condition using the following parameters. Add a second conditional cut or fill subassembly to the hinge point on the daylight basin subassembly using the following parameters. Add a third conditional cut or fill subassembly to the hinge point on the daylight basin subassembly using the following parameters. Using the generic tool palette, add a link width and slope subassembly to the cut 5.00, 10,000.00 conditional subassembly using the following parameters. Side, left. Width, 12.0000. Slope, -2.000%. Using the retaining walls tool palette, add a retain wall vertical subassembly to the link width and slope subassembly using the default parameters. Using the generic tool palette, add a link offset on surface subassembly to the cut 0.00, 5.00 conditional subassembly using the following parameters. Offset from baseline, -60.000. Omit link, no. Using the generic tool palette, add a link slope to surface subassembly to the fill 0.00, 10,000.00 conditional subassembly using the following parameters. Side, left. Slope, 4.000%. Add link in, fill only. Press ESC to exit subassembly placement mode. In the top viewport, select the daylight basin subassembly that is attached to the cut 0.00, 10,000.00 conditional subassembly. Right-click. Click Subassembly Properties. In the Subassembly Properties dialog box, on the Parameters tab, for Daylight Link, set the default input value to omit daylight link. Click OK. In the top viewport, select the red assembly marker. Right-click. Click Assembly Properties. In the Assembly Properties dialog box, click the Construction tab. In the item list, select the Conditional Cut or Fill, left subassembly. Click it again to highlight the text. Change the name to Condominium Fill 0 to 5 for TRL. A descriptive naming convention helps to distinguish between the many conditional cut or fill subassemblies that are present. Rename the other two conditional cut or fill subassemblies to the following names. Rename the daylight subassemblies to reflect the cut or fill condition to which they apply. Name the second level of the subassemblies the following. Click OK. Open assembly 2c.dwg. In the drawing, click the Corridor 1, Corridor. Click Corridor tab, modify Corridor panel, Corridor Properties, drop down Corridor Properties. In the Corridor Properties dialog box, on the Parameters tab, click Set All Targets. In the Target Mapping dialog box, in the Object Name column, click. In the Pick a Surface dialog box, click Existing Ground. Click OK 3 times to close the dialog boxes and rebuild the corridor. In the View/Edit Corridor section Tools toolbar, click to return to Station 0+00. Click 8 times to advance to Station 2+00. Click again. Continue using the buttons to examine the cut and fill conditions along the corridor.